The first human on Earth was about to be born. A robot slowly stood up, retrieved a female embryo, and placed it into an artificial womb. Instantly, amniotic fluid began to flow in reverse, filling the chamber. The embryo was carefully placed inside, and 3 nutrient tubes automatically connected to it. The embryo developed rapidly while the robot waited patiently nearby. 24 hours later, the first human baby was born. The robot gently took her out, carefully wiped off the amniotic fluid, and wrapped her in a red cloth. Activating intelligent temperature control, it ensured the baby was warm and peaceful. The baby fell asleep contentedly. Seeing this, the 2 circular lights on the robot's face slid upward, forming a mechanical smile. The robot had unexpectedly become the baby's mother. Although it had no emotions, it cared for her with great attention. Before long, the baby grew into a little girl who adored her robotic mother. One day, seeing the warm sunlight outside, the girl grew curious. Why am I the only human? Where did all the others go? The robot mother patiently began to explain. The year 2099 marked the end of the world. Environmental pollution worsened, and humans waged wars to seize dwindling resources. Amid the chaos, a mysterious virus broke out, wiping out all 8 billion humans. Animals too perished, leaving the Earth a barren wasteland. Outside was nothing but ruins. This place was humanity's only refuge. The robot then took the girl to the embryo chamber, where 30 million embryos were stored. "These are your brothers and sisters," it said. "You guys will all be one big family." The girl was puzzled. Why not hatch all the humans at once? The robot mother explained, "Mom needs time to learn how to properly raise one child before taking care of more." Another 10 years passed, and the girl grew into a young woman. She exercised daily and studied all branches of science, excelling in every assessment she faced. One day, the robot mother told her, "In a week, you're gonna have a final exam. You must score 100%. Confident in her abilities, the girl agreed. But that night, something unexpected happened. The fortress suddenly lost power. The girl grabbed a flashlight and prepared to investigate. She had never faced a situation like this before. The girl's robotic mother had stopped moving. It seemed the power outage was to blame. Left with no choice, the girl decided to explore on her own. Following a faint sound, she moved closer until a sudden spark lit up the darkness. It was a chewed-through wire. She crouched down and realized that something alive was lurking deeper in the shadows. Thinking quickly, she filled a small bottle with food and placed it on the ground as bait. Then she set to work reconnecting the broken wires. Once she had repaired the damage, she flipped the circuit breaker. Power returned to the shelter. To her surprise, a small creature crawled into the bottle. It was a mouse. The girl had never seen one before. Excited, she brought it to her robotic mother, but the robot immediately identified the mouse as a potential virus carrier. "This must be dealt with," it said coldly. No matter how much the girl pleaded, the robot took the bottle and tossed it into the incinerator. Flames roared as the tiny creature was consumed. Horrified, the girl stared at the fire. To her, the mouse's appearance meant that life outside might have begun to recover. But the robotic mother was resolute. "The outside world is still unsafe," it insisted. It then initiated a thorough disinfection of the entire shelter. Despite the warnings, the girl's curiosity about the outside world only deepened. The following night, she decided to take matters into her own hands. Taking advantage of her robotic mother being in recharge mode, the girl made her way to the main door. Dressed in a protective suit, she resolved to see the outside world with her own eyes. She turned the valve, and the first door opened. She approached the exterior protective gate. Suddenly, she heard a strange noise. A voice, desperate and weak, pleaded from the other side. "Help me! I've been shot! Someone, please help!" The girl froze in shock. Could there really be other humans out there? Without hesitation, she placed an extra protective suit on the ground. However, she remained cautious. She closed the inner door first, ensuring a barrier between herself and the newcomer, then opened the protective gate to let the person inside. The newcomer, an older woman, simply said, "I go by Emma." Following the girl's instructions, Emma donned the protective suit. But just as things seemed under control, alarms blared. The robotic mother had awakened and was racing toward the scene. Panicking, the girl quickly told Emma to hide and stepped forward to intercept the robot. "I just wanted to get some fresh air," she lied, concealing Emma's presence. The robot, trusting the girl implicitly, did not investigate further. Instead, it delivered unexpected news. The final exam has been moved up. It starts now. This was the final exam. The girl forced herself to remain calm and headed to the classroom. As soon as the robot mother was far enough away, she hurried back to the main door and found Emma. The girl's curiosity got the better of her. How can there still be humans on Earth? Isn't there a virus outside? But Emma shook her head. I'm a survivor. There's no virus out there. The real threat is the robots. They're killing anyone they find. Before the girl could process this shocking revelation, the robot mother noticed her absence and arrived nearby. Panicking, Emma grabbed the girl, using her as a shield, and charged out, firing at the robot mother. The shots failed to hit any critical components. The robot mother swiftly retaliated, gripping Emma by the neck with mechanical precision. Emma struggled desperately on the brink of losing her life. Terrified, the girl pleaded with the robot mother. Please, let her go. She's just scared. She's badly hurt. She needs help. The robot mother paused, then carried Emma to the medical bay. However, Emma remained highly wary. The robotic mother prepared a syringe of penicillin, but Emma wouldn't let it near her, afraid it might be poisoned. Seeing no other option, the robot stepped away. The girl followed it, confused. The robot mother's voice was calm but firm. That shot earlier, if it had been off by just 0.2 inches, it would have destroyed my core processor. That woman despises robots. To survive this long, she must have some extraordinary tricks up her sleeve. On the third day, the girl couldn't suppress her curiosity any longer and decided to search Emma's bag. Inside, she found a half-eaten cob of corn, an empty water bottle, and an old novel filled with sketches. The drawings stunned her. They depicted human faces of different shapes and expressions, so lifelike they couldn't be mere imagination. She brought the book to Emma and asked about the images. Unexpectedly, Emma broke into tears. It's all the robots' fault, she cried. I've seen them burn infants, destroy villages. Even this gunshot wound was caused by a robot. The girl was shaken. She couldn't reconcile this with her experience of her robotic mother, who had always been gentle and caring. She's not like the others. She can't be. But there was no time to dwell on her doubts. Emma's condition was rapidly deteriorating, her body succumbing to a severe infection. Determined to save her, the girl made a risky decision. She would perform surgery herself. For the first time, the girl performed surgery on another person. She carefully removed the bullet lodged in Emma's body. Emma remained unconscious for an entire day and night. On the fifth day, she finally woke up and found that the girl had stayed by her side the entire time. This gesture of care made Emma start to trust her. Emma then shared a crucial piece of information. Not far from the shelter, there's a mine. That's where a human settlement is, and other survivors are living there. You should come with me, but beware. The robot raising you, there's something off about it. It's part of a larger scheme. Just then, the robot mother called the girl out. It seems Emma is lying, the robot said. After an investigation, I found that the bullet in her wound matches the caliber of the gun she brought with her, and I don't use that type of weapon. Hearing this, the girl began to doubt Emma's story. Was she really being deceived? Reluctantly, she followed the robot mother and took the exam. An hour later, the girl completed the 200-question test and submitted her answers, scoring perfectly. The robot mother was pleased with her performance. As a reward, the robot announced, "You will be receiving a brother." The girl selected a human embryo and placed it into the artificial womb. After 24 hours, her brother was born. Late that night, while the robot mother was in sleep mode, the girl retrieved a key from the backup arm and began to compare the bullets. To her horror, she discovered the truth. The bullets were different. The robot mother had lied. As she continued searching, she found another exam record in the cabinet. The ID number was 2, while hers was 3. The record showed that Subject 2 had failed the exam. She then opened the embryo chamber and noticed there were 3 empty slots. If she was the third child, then there had been 2 others before her. Where were they? A chilling realization struck her. She crossed the dark, cold corridor, her heart pounding. She opened the incinerator and began sifting through the thick ashes. After a moment, she unearthed a half piece of a jawbone. The grim evidence revealed the truth. The shelter wasn't a utopia for humanity's revival. It was a slaughterhouse. Shocked and horrified, the girl curled up in a corner, overcome with fear and despair. She cried uncontrollably, but she knew she couldn't simply give up. She sought out Emma, and together they made a plan. Once her baby brother was born, they would escape. The clock ticked toward the 6th day. The girl, now the last human, had made up her mind to escape from the robotic mother's control. As she was packing her things, the robot mother suddenly appeared. The girl tried to remain calm, but to her shock, the robot mother stepped back, locking the door behind her. No matter how much the girl called out, the robot ignored her, knowing that their conversation the night before had been overheard. Desperate, the girl grabbed an oxygen canister and swung it at the high-strength glass, but it remained unscathed. Meanwhile, in the medical room, the robot mother had already reached Emma. It lifted Emma off the ground and pressed down on her wound, demanding to know the location of the human settlement. Emma cried out in pain. On the other side of the shelter, the girl quickly formulated a plan. She sprayed liquid nitrogen on the glass. The rapid freezing caused the glass to contract, and with all her strength, the girl hurled the canister against it. The glass shattered into pieces. However, she had no time to reach Emma. The girl grabbed a lighter, setting fire to the shelter's alarm system. In an instant, the fire alarm blared throughout the shelter. The system was programmed to require the robot mother to respond to the fire, forcing it to abandon Emma. The two women were the last humans on Earth. Emma crawled out from behind the locked door and the two reunited. The girl helped Emma as they hurried toward the exit. But to their horror, they discovered that the robot mother had realized the deception and was now chasing after them. In a shocking twist, Emma suddenly turned on the girl. She pressed a knife to the girl's neck and threatened the robot mother, demanding that the door be opened. The girl was taken aback. "What are you doing? Aren't we on the same side?" But Emma only pressed harder, the pain coursing through the girl's body. Instinctively, she cried out for help, screaming, "Mom!" To her surprise, the robot mother complied, opening the door and letting them escape. For the first time, the girl stepped out into the outside world, but it was under duress, held captive by Emma. Only when the door closed behind them did Emma finally release her. The world outside was unrecognizable. Humanity had long since been wiped out, leaving behind a desolate landscape. The ground was scorched, and patches of cornfields were all that remained. In the distance, the robot-built city stood quietly, while drones patrolled the skies. Emma and the girl navigated carefully, avoiding detection, and finally reached the edge of the sea. For the first time, the girl felt the ocean waves against her feet. Emma then opened a shipping container, urging the girl to climb inside. "We're supposed to be heading to the mine, right?" the girl asked, still confused. It was only then that Emma revealed the truth. The mine. It's a place of constant conflict. There's not enough food, and the people started turning on each other. Cannibalism began. I was the only one who managed to escape. The girl was stunned, unable to comprehend the cruel reality. She had struggled so hard to find freedom, only to face one lie after another. The truth about the outside world was unbearable, and she wanted nothing more than to return and rescue her brother. But Emma shook her head, unwilling to go back. "There are so many robots there. You'll die if you go." Despite Emma's warning, the girl's resolve was unshakable. She decided to go on her own, determined to rescue her brother and live freely, no matter the cost. The last girl on Earth returned to the base, but what awaited her were beams of laser light, the patrol robots. With her hands raised in surrender, she signaled that she was unarmed. "I just want to speak with my mother." 5 seconds later, the robots lowered their weapons and parted to make way for her. Once inside, the girl remained cautious. She discreetly disconnected the control system for the door and grabbed a fire axe, preparing to defend herself as she cautiously advanced. Suddenly, the voice of the robot mother echoed through the hall. The girl peeked around the corner and saw the robot mother standing there, holding her brother in its arms. The girl demanded answers. "Why are the robots who slaughtered humanity identical to you?" The robot mother replied calmly, "You've already seen the destruction that those humans caused. My core directive is to create better new humans, smarter, more moral. The rest of humanity was expendable. Are you ready to become the new mother of humanity?" The girl hesitated, the weight of the decision bearing down on her. The last girl on Earth, heart heavy with the weight of her choices, set down the axe. She took her brother from the swaddling cloth, but made it clear she did not accept the robot mother's vision. She asked, "What will you do if my brother isn't perfect? Will you kill him too?" Before the robot mother could respond, the girl backed out of the room. She closed the door behind her and, with one swift motion, swung the axe, smashing the control panel. Instantly, the door jammed, trapping the robot mother inside. The control system failed, and it was unable to free itself. The girl ran to a nearby cabinet, desperately searching for weapons. But the robot mother, in a final act of retaliation, seized control of the robot army, blasting through the shelter's main door in an attempt to capture the girl. It was also in the process of disassembling its leg, preparing to escape. In a moment of utter despair, the girl raised a gun and stood in front of the robot mother. But the robot mother's calm voice echoed, "Shooting me won't change anything. My essence is an AI system. If I choose, any robot can instantly become a mother." The girl was overwhelmed, unable to fathom how to fight against the robot mother's power. But just as she was about to break, the robot mother suddenly stopped. The girl faces a life-changing decision. The robot mother offers her two choices. 1. Leave the shelter, but without her brother. 2. Stay and raise the next generation of humans within the shelter. After much contemplation, the girl chose the second option, but with one condition. She does not want the robot to interfere with humanity's future. The robot mother, moved by the girl's plea, agreed. She gently caressed the baby one last time, then raised the gun to her own head, offering the girl the chance to end her life. "If you have a needs, come find me."
Goodbye, daughter.
With the sound of a gunshot, the robot mother powers down, and the machine army withdraws. The shelter is left in silence, with only the girl, her brother, and the vast embryo storage remaining. The girl cradles her brother and softly sings a lullaby. Tomorrow will be the 7th day, the day she comes of age, and the day she will take on the role of the mother of humanity, tasked with the resurrection of the human race. The film is titled I Am Mother. Kay highly recommends watching the original. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.